Hey there, lovely people. Welcome to your own channel. I'm Dr. Pankari Miglani. I take care of your biology preparation for the upcoming NEET 2025 exam and also people preparing for NEET 2026 exam and also for people who love biology, especially the plant biology. Isn't it? So, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, but you've been watching the videos and you're liking the content, please subscribe to the channel, like the videos and share it across as much as you can with everybody who has a faint interest in biology because they're going to love what we are teaching. So, as promised, today is the day of C4 cycle and photorespiration. These are very, very important topics. So, I thought I'm going to, rather than mixing it up with other topics of the chapter, I want to primarily, categorically deal with C4 cycle and photorespiration, which definitely, essentially garners 2 MCQs, if not 3. In the last class, we did another set of very important topics, which you guys also experience to be difficult topics. That is your kya tha? Light reaction, chemiosmotic hypothesis, Kelvin cycle or dark reaction. Now, if you haven't watched this lecture, it is right there in the playlist. It happened day before yesterday. Watch that lecture on an increased speed. Let me know in the comment section which part you suddenly became easy for you. You were like, wow, now I understand what is going on. Where you still have confusion, or only the message that you watched the video. Like the video, keep it in your liked video so that you can go back and watch it again and again. And if you like the video, I like it. So in the next 30 minutes, what we are going to do is we are going to open up our notebooks. We are going to write with ma'am. And I promise you, if you have your full presence in this video, for the next 30 minutes, you will not need to revise these topics before your NEET 2025 exam. Given that your entire presence, mind, body, soul, and the pen and paper, writing with me, is in the class. So people, photorespiration. Now I introduced the topic in the last class, telling you, informing you, or rather making you realize that Rubisco, which is the most abundant enzyme on the planet, has the oxygenase as well as the carboxylase activity, which is great, but the problem is it has affinity towards carbon dioxide, or it does the normal C3 cycle if the concentration ratio of carbon dioxide and oxygen remains normal in the immediate vicinity of the green part, for example, the leaf. The moment oxygen concentration rises, or in other words, carbon dioxide concentration, I repeat, in the immediate vicinity of the plant and not the entire atmosphere, Rubisco gets confused and develops an affinity towards oxygen. That leads to the process of today, which is photorespiration. Let's give beautiful headings like we always do and write with ma'am. Yeah? So, photorespiration is the topic for today. Photorespiration. Everybody. Now, people, we know what is respiration. Respiration is when I get a lot of energy. Talk about cellular respiration, 38 ADP. I use oxygen and I form carbon dioxide. This is the most basic definition of respiration that everybody knows. Now, what is happening in photorespiration in plant under the conditions that I told you? Well, it is losing carbon dioxide, which the plant very importantly needs to generate sugars, C6H12O6, and it utilizes oxygen, which the plant intends to give out, and it uses considerable amount of energy. So I am not getting energy, I am losing carbon dioxide, which I need. Okay, and I am utilizing oxygen also. So it is a highly wasteful process. Please write with me, highly wasteful process in C3 plants. Photorespiration happens to some extent in all C3 plants, but the rate significantly increases, especially in high temperature and high light intensity. If you think carefully, then these two conditions, high temperature and high light intensity, is a feature of tropical areas, areas which are located close to the equator. So this is also a question. Tropical C3 plants. Essentially, at the cellular level, what is the problem? Oxygen concentration, when increases, Rubisco acts as the oxygenase enzyme. This binding site becomes activated. It forgets about carbon dioxide, isn't it? The carbon dioxide that I have written in small doesn't find its place. Rubisco oxidizes RUBP. The most crucial step of Kelvin cycle was RUBP combining or fixing carbon dioxide. That is not happening. Okay? So, something like this happens. RUBP plus oxygen, MCQ alert, with this Rubisco activity, where oxygenase is active, converts itself into a compound plus 3 PGA. Why did I tell you this? Because people assume that if photorespiration is happening, C3 cycle is not happening. That will never be the case. C3 cycle is a universal cycle. It will happen in all green plants. Plant will continue to make sugar. It will not die. But this compound that I have not revealed, the metabolic reactions around this compound lead to this. Wastage. But C3 will happen. Clear? Now, in order to do this photorespiration, MCQ, the most common MCQ that is asked from this topic is the involvement of the organelles. Organelles involved in order. Okay? In the same sequence are 3 organelles. If you don't learn anything about photorespiration, learn this. This is the most common MCQ asked every year. And that is chloroplast. Chloroplast will be required, na Baba? Because RUBP, Rubisco, everything is chloroplast, photosynthesis. Then the cell gets shocked because something is happening here. So peroxisomes, perioxysomes, and lastly, things became so serious that we had to take the help of mitochondria. So the third one is mitochondria. Okay? So now I'm going to teach you the pathway. But you don't have to be scared because I am just keeping you safe. We will learn the pathway, we will see the pathway, we will write the pathway only according to the PYQs. I'm not going to go into the details. And yet you will understand the process beautifully. Let's get going. You will divide the page of your notebook. If it is very patla, if the page is very patla, you can move it horizontally, landscape mode. Otherwise, one page is enough. Just divide it into 3 parts for the 3 organelles. The first one, boys and girls, is none other than chloroplast. Okay? Then what is happening? Peroxisome is happening. ठीक है? और थर्ड वन आ गया हमारा माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया. ठीक है? माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया. In the chloroplast, RUBP, ribulose 1,5 bisphosphate, which is a 5-carbon compound, combines with oxygen, okay, and gives you 2-phosphoglycolate plus 3-phosphoglycerate or 3-phosphoglyceric acid. ठीक है? This 3-PGA will enter C3 cycle. Now you must be like, ma'am, then what is the problem? C3 cycle is happening. The plant is not going to keep this compound, this complex compound, just lying there. This is not how physiology works. The plant cell would want to metabolize, would want to see what is happening here. ये क्या है? Break down into simpler compounds. And then this happens. This is the first important basic, very much in NCERT MCQ. This was a 5-carbon compound. This is a 2-carbon compound. This is a 3-carbon compound. This 2-carbon compound drives the next step of reactions. All of this is happening because of, like I said, oxygenase activity of Rubisco. Clear? This much is clear. Because the cycle is driven by a 2-carbon compound, photorespiration is also called as C2 cycle. Remember. Now, what will happen to phosphoglycolate is interesting. This will change into glycolate. Now the plant is like, let me deal with this compound. I don't know what's happening. But for every metabolic reaction, energy will be involved, right? So this glycolate is a 2-carbon compound. This glycolate now gets transferred to peroxisome. So what I want you to remember is which amino acid is formed in peroxisome, to be safe, because it's a previous year question, 2016, 17, 18. We don't know what kind of paper can be asked. So what is happening here is glycolate changes into glyoxylate. Let me draw it here. Glyoxylate. As the name suggests, and as is the nature of peroxisome, they contain oxidase enzymes. Glyoxylate has been formed. Remember, oxygen is utilized, carbon dioxide is released, energy is used. Exactly that is happening. Hydrogen peroxide is also formed, which is poisonous, which the cell will definitely remove. This glyoxylate quickly changes into glycine. I want you to remember this for your MCQ. Okay? This is a 2-carbon amino acid formed in peroxisome. Now this glycine will go into mitochondria. In the mitochondria, glycine will combine with another molecule of glycine. So 2-carbon plus 2-carbon ideally should give me a 4-carbon compound, but what I get here is serine. So this is a previous year question. Which amino acid is formed in mitochondria and what is the carbon number? Okay, so the most important reaction, chloroplast question, peroxisome question, mitochondria question. This much I want you to remember. And to understand the process, if this is a 3-carbon compound, definitely there is decarboxylation that has happened. This carbon dioxide is a waste, wasted. The plant could have used it, but it escapes from the mitochondria. The plant would use carbon dioxide in chloroplast. This is a wasteful, this is what the plant has lost. Remember that. Now, since it's a cycle, plant will try to save the day as much as it can. Serine undergoes through a set of reactions which you guys don't need, in which significant amount of NADPH, which we formed in light reaction, and ATP is used. Ultimately, through a set of reactions, I get glycerate. Okay, and glycerate finally changes into 3-phosphoglycerate. Definitely, if I am changing glycerate into 3-phosphoglycerate, I am adding phosphate, I am using ATP also. I am using energy also. This PGA will enter the C3 cycle also. So yes, C3 cycle will continue, plant will make sure. Around this time, he has understood, he has tried his best to give chloroplast phosphoglyceric acid, but it is by wasting a lot of energy. Is that clear? So this is photorespiration. In the tropical climate, certain plants wanted to get rid of this very evil process, and they in an evolutionary manner developed another pathway called as the C4 cycle, a tweaked C3 cycle. They identified the problem, that the problem is coming at the level of, please note this down if you haven't, at the level of Rubisco. Rubisco is doing the drama and he is losing control. So how do I make sure that Rubisco never gets to interact with oxygen? Whatever concentration happens, Rubisco is not affected, and in the vicinity of Rubisco, around Rubisco, there's always a high concentration of carbon dioxide. So plants thought the only way is to spatially lock Rubisco enzyme, isn't it? Spatially lock Rubisco is the tune of the C4 pathway. So let's get going, put the heading as C4 pathway, and we will understand like never before. Okay, C4 pathway, people. So these are the plants of tropical areas, tropical monocot or dicot plants. Not all, which developed Kranz anatomy in leaves to prevent photorespiration. Because photorespiration is happening primarily in tropical areas at a very high rate. It is happening in all C3 plants. These plants are called as C4 plants. Now, what is the question that he loves to ask? Example: maize, sorghum, sugarcane, and amaranthus. These examples are all previous year questions. Okay. Now let's understand. I told you what is the purpose of something. Now we'll figure out. What is Kranz anatomy? This is NCERT diagram. Okay. So Kranz anatomy means, Kranz word means a wreath, or wreath, which simply means a ring. So I arrange mesophyll cells. Mesophyll cells form a ring and bundle sheath cells. Remember, in leaf anatomy we saw that vascular bundles are surrounded by bundle sheath. It started in monocot stem. Watch that lecture right now. NCERT reading, organ anatomy. Please watch it. So mesophyll cells are not present horizontally now. They are forming a ring. Do you see that ring? Let me draw it for you. Mesophyll cells form a ring and bundle sheath cells are thick walled. Usually bundle sheath cells in a leaf are not that thick walled. But here, this is a modification. Yeah, it is visible. So now how it looks like, of course, this is the NCERT diagram. You see how mesophyll cells have formed a ring. These are all mesophyll cells. You know, this really helps them to conserve water also. They are closely packed. Then this is the vascular bundle in the center. Have a look. And this is your stomata. Bundle sheath cells are these. Very, very close to vascular bundles. The idea is instead of only mesophyll cells, chloroplast कहाँ होता है? Mesophyll cell में होता है. In C3 cycle, only mesophyll cells were doing the entire job, forming the sugars. But now the C4 plants have devised a method called as division of labor. They said, we are going to lock Rubisco in these bundle sheath cells. But mesophyll cells will also do half the job. It's pretty interesting. Let's see what happens. Before that, let me take you to how it looks like. What is exactly Cran's anatomy? So in Cran's anatomy, if I have to show you, let's say the bundle sheath cells, then they look something like this. They are extremely thick walled. Okay? This thick walled simply means that they are going to be impervious. Impervious means they will not let anything escape. Bundle sheath cells are impervious to oxygen. That is, they will not let oxygen come in. And do not let carbon dioxide escape. This simply means that I am locking all the carbon dioxide within the bundle sheath cells. Okay? And Rubisco is present. What the plant did, it shifted the Rubisco enzyme, spatial locking I said, from your mesophyll cells and placed it in bundle sheath cells. Meanwhile, mesophyll cells are present like this. Closely packed, huh? Even closer than I am showing you. And carbon dioxide fixation will happen in mesophyll cells as well, but not with the help of Rubisco. Is that clear to everybody? Please draw the diagram yourself as much as you can. Okay? Tindu, mesophyll cell. So, mesophyll cell here takes part in primary carboxylation because it has an enzyme called as pepcase. It is thin-walled. These are thin-walled cells. These are thick-walled cells. Is that very clear? Okay? Quite visible, nicely. Now let's draw the pathway as it happens. So what we'll do is, we will draw the mesophyll cell on one side and we will draw the thick walled bundle sheath cell on the other side. ठीक है? These are plasmodesmatal connections. What happens here is two carboxylations will happen. In C4 cycle, two carboxylations, that is combination, that is fixing carbon dioxide. Two carboxylations occur. But the primary carboxylation will happen in mesophyll cell. So here the acceptor compound is phosphoenol pyruvate, which will combine with atmospheric carbon dioxide like RUBP did. It is a 3-carbon compound and 3 and 1 is 4. It will form oxaloacetic acid. So this is a very common question. The first stable product of C4 cycle is a 4-carbon compound called as oxaloacetic acid. This fixing of carbon is regularized by an enzyme called as pepcase, phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase. It has no site for oxygen, so there is no fear of the concentration in the vicinity of the plant getting disturbed. This oxaloacetic acid now gets converted into malic acid or aspartic acid with the amine group. Any of these, but it cannot move into bundle sheath cell as oxaloacetic acid. This is the first step called as the primary carboxylation. ठीक है, समझ में आया? फर्स्ट स्टेप वेरी क्रूशियल. Second is this malic acid or aspartic acid gets transferred to bundle sheath cell, division of labor, remember. So malic acid or aspartic acid, anything, will change into pyruvic acid. As you can see, boys and girls, these were 4-carbon acids, but pyruvic acid is a 3-carbon acid. So what would have happened? Decarboxylation has happened. Decarboxylation has happened. This is cellular carbon dioxide, intracellular carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide cannot escape because the walls are impervious. We said they are thick wall or impervious walls. And oxygen cannot come inside. So this carbon dioxide enters C3 cycle because it is fixed by Rubisco. This means Rubisco is present not in mesophyll cell but bundle sheath cells. Since this is a cycle, I need to get back to my primary acceptor compound. So this pyruvic acid will now have to leave bundle sheath cells and enter back to your mesophyll cells. Okay? Easy. This is, everything is given in NCERT. Here pyruvic acid will have to convert itself into phosphoenol pyruvate. Okay? So it is also called as PEP. है ना? So PEP, 3 carbon, 3 carbon. Not a problem of carbon. But I am adding a phosphate group and enol group to pyruvic acid. What would I need? I would need ATP. In this process, boys and girls, 2 ATP equivalents are used. As you can see, from ATP, AMP is formed, triphosphate monophosphate. It is a single ATP molecule, but what is happening is, have a look here, it's quite visible I think. ATP first breaks down into ADP plus inorganic phosphate, then this ADP breaks down into monophosphate plus inorganic phosphate. How do you calculate energy? If you want to make ATP again, then I would need 2 inorganic phosphates. So we say 2 equivalents of ATP have been used. So this particular process, okay, this is the third step called as regeneration. Yeah, this is your regeneration right here. And this step, what just happened here, this particular step is called as the second step, which is your transport of the organic acid and decarboxylation. These are the 3 steps of C4 cycle if you compare with C3 cycle. Number 1, primary carboxylation, the most crucial step, written in bold. Number 2, transport of the organic acid to bundle sheath cell, ultimately leading to decarboxylation so that Calvin cycle can happen in bundle sheath cell normally with the help of Rubisco, but it is spatially locked. Oxygenase activity is completely prohibited. And finally, regeneration of the primary acceptor. Now, last part of this lecture, let us calculate the energetics. How we calculate energetics of C3 cycle in the last class? We will calculate energetics of C4 cycle. Chalega? So, for 1 carbon dioxide in C3 cycle, how many ATP were required to fix 1 carbon dioxide of in C3 cycle? Yeah, that is your 3 ATP. Remember we did it in last class, plus 2 NADPH. But from 1 carbon dioxide, I can never make a complete glucose. So I can say for making 1 glucose molecule, because this is how he traps you in MCQs, I am exactly giving you the traps, the solution to the traps. For making 1 glucose molecule, I actually need 18 ATP plus 12 NADPH. This is your C3 cycle. C3 cycle, which is happening in the bundle sheath for a C4 plant. Yes, but something is happening in mesophyll also. So for a C4 plant, if I have to fix 1 CO2 in C4, I need 2 extra ATP in the regeneration process. So 3 and 2, did you see that here? 2 ATP are required, rest nowhere I have used ATP. So 5 ATP plus 2 NADPH are required. But 1 carbon dioxide is never giving me. So 6 cycle. So 1 glucose in C4 cycle will require 5 into 6, 30 ATP plus 6 into 2, again 12 NADPH. है ना? So if you compare the ATP usage in both the plants, it is double, almost double than that of C3 plant. Chamka, plant is ready to use double the amount of ATP to let go of photorespiration, which loses ATP. Is that clear? And why did I tell you this? Nobody will ask you. This will help you understand the role of cyclic photophosphorylation, which I taught you in the last class. Cyclic photophosphorylation, I have released a short also on the channel. is that process in which only ATP is formed. So plant does both non-cyclic and cyclic because ATP is needed more. Okay? So in C4 plants, photophosphorylation will become very useful. This was C4 and photorespiration for your benefit. Take down these notes very, very carefully. Take care of your health and subscribe to the channel for more such amazing explanations.